You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down, featuring in-depth discussion and interviews with stand-up comedians on the art of stand-up comedy. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Stand Up, Sit Down.
All right, how you guys doing? Welcome to another exciting edition of Stand Up, Sit Down. I'm your host here, Nick Perdue, and today I have a very special guest. This guy is hilarious. I literally met him yesterday, but he gets my stamp of approval. Help me welcome Mr. Jerron Horton to the show.
What's up, y'all?
Yes.
How y'all doing?
Yes. How are you?
I'm great, man.
You good?
Yes.
Is the valley hot enough for you?
I live in the valley, so it's
Okay, so you're used to it a little bit.
I just moved here from Vegas, so it's.
Oh yeah, so you're just in the desert, just because it's no Atlanta,
It's not.
but it's nice. So let's dive right into it.
Let's dive into it.
All right.
Yes.
So this Atlanta comedy scene, what is it like? And is there an Atlanta comedy scene? Because I've been to one club in Atlanta that wasn't even a club. We were just doing comedy, and it was like, okay, like, yeah, we're doing comedy, but then it was like a dance club after.
Where were you?
I forgot. Because I went out with my boy. Because we went into like some like in the sticks, like hole in the wall place, and there was like 40 people there, and there was like 6 of us telling jokes, and then like literally right after the last person got off stage, they turned on the music, and people was like, okay, we can dance now.
Well, I'll tell you this. I there is an Atlanta comedy scene. I only lived in Atlanta for 6 months when I was doing comedy. I started my comedy in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I moved back home in summer of 2011 for 6 months while I was doing comedy. So yeah, there's a scene. They got the Laughing Skull Lounge, Punchline. They have a Bonkers out there. They have an Atlanta Improv now.
Oh, okay.
They have some really funny comics out there. Some really, really funny comics in Atlanta.
Now, how do you see the difference between the comics from Atlanta to the comics from LA? Because I know there's a very distinct style difference. So like what do you model your style after?
I model my style really after me.
Okay.
In LA, it's a lot. You get less time to tell your jokes. At open mics. So in like scenes like the Atlanta scene or the Vegas scene, at those open mics, we have more time. So it's a lot more rambling. Out here, it's kind of like quick. But
3 minutes.
Yeah, but I just do me. I don't know. I'm still finding my voice, but as of right now, I'm just doing me.
Okay, because you're 3 years deep into comedy now.
Yeah.
Right. So what did your parents say? Like day one, year one, what did your parents say when you're like, hey guys, I think I want to do comedy?
Well, my mom, she's like, are you sure? Like, you need a job. You need like, how much are you getting paid? Like, you can't pay your bills with drink tickets.
Yeah.
And my dad, he didn't say anything because I don't have a dad. So he's not watching this, so it doesn't really matter.
You never know. You could be watching right now.
Yeah, like what
if
what if he's like just monitoring my progress from afar, and he's like, he's like what if my dad is like the water boy's dad, like he comes up, pulls up on you, like right in my marriage or whatever, like we're not getting married. Nah, man, I don't know. I don't know what he would say. I think I told him one time when I talked to him about about a year ago for a little bit. My little sister that lives with him gave me his number, and I called him, and I was like, I do comedy now. And he was like, yeah, that's what's up.
yeah, I know.
Bet. yeah, it be like that sometimes,
Okay, now growing up, because I know that, a lot of comics, they're either funny as kids and, they're either like funny kids or they're badass kids or they're like real quiet kids. So growing up, like what type of kid were you?
Growing up, what type of kid was I? I was pretty bad. I was the only child till I was 14.
Yeah.
And I was a bully because I was taller than everybody else. So I was an asshole as a child. I didn't really start becoming like mean. Like I do funny things when I was a little kid. Like I would like do pranks, you know, or whatever, or my cousins or my friends.
Yeah.
But when I got to high school, or when I was in middle school, one of my friends, Mark, he moved in my neighborhood. He moved from St. Louis, and he would always like talk shit about people. Like he would roast on people. So I was like, oh shit. And because I'm an easy target, you know, I'm skinny, big head, blah 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 blah. You probably got 3 jokes about me now. Like he would start getting on me, so I had to find a way to defend myself. So I just went home and I had to write some jokes about him. And next time he jumped on me, I was ready, and that kind of took me to the next level of like being funny, is like trying to be clever with it. Yeah. And then, bam, here I am today.
There you go. But now, like, so do you take that like to the stage too? So like, we know, cause you know when people like to heckle and this and that, like, are you quick with it too, or are you just kind of like, okay?
Well, for me, I when people like heckle, most of the time I get like positively heckled, you know, like when you tell a joke like, "Ha, yeah, that's right," you know, like I just try to shrug it off. I don't really try to acknowledge it unless it's like right in my face, because when you're being heckled, it's like, okay, shit, now, because I'm like 6'2", so it's like I gotta see who the fuck is talking. Yeah, you know, I gotta point him out, then I gotta find something mean to say about him so he'll shut up. You know, so I'd rather just keep my focus on entertaining the entire crowd than switching it up to just one guy.
Yeah, I know, because like sometimes it messes up the flow, you know, and then now you're focusing on this one guy who really doesn't deserve that much attention, you know, and you forget where you're at, and it just causes a. But you know, it's nice to have those like jokes that are just in the can, so you can just boom, 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 shut them up real quick, and then get back to your flow.
Hecklers are like comics who don't have enough gas money to get to open mics. Like, that's hecklers. That's what y'all are. You don't have enough gas money to constantly hit open mics, so you come to one comedy show every 2 weeks, and you get drunk, and then you say what you got to say.
But busting out material, seeing if you get a chuckle. Yeah, right.
I could just imagine them just sitting back with like they got a note card and shit, and they're just yelling it out like, Detroit's bankrupt, right? Just yelling shit out.
It's random. It has nothing to do with nothing.
Exactly.
So what was your first comedy experience like? Like the first time you stepped on stage and grabbed the mic?
My very first comedy stand-up experience was Vegas, March 8, 2010, at Diaz Mackey at his show called Monday Night Raw, which is what I hosted when I met you out here. It was in Vegas. It was this place called Boomerangs. And I had 7 minutes. Wow. And let me tell you how it happened. Okay, I had always wanted to try stand-up, but I hadn't just kind of shrugged it off or whatever. And these dudes at my job, I used to work at Ruby Tuesdays, and these guys are like, yeah, and this comedian he bombed. It was like packed crowd, blah, 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 blah. And he bombed. And I was like, where was this at? And he's like, they told me. So for like 2 weeks straight, I just would be at work writing down just jokes or whatever. And I finally went up there and I was like, hey, can I get on? Whatever. So he's like, yeah. So I kept having him bump me because just the nerve. I was so nervous. It felt like like if you ever been in an accident or something, they give you like morphine if you're in pain. Like I felt like I couldn't feel. I just was nervous and my heart was beating so fast. Yeah. Like I felt like Max Payne when you do the bullet time shit. Yeah. But yeah, man, and I told only one of my jokes got really laughs, and that's it though. It was after that I wasn't nervous anymore.
Were they quiet though? Like
no, this was actually surprising for an open mic crowd. It was like 60 people. Like 60 I started people. My first time doing stand up was in front of 60 middle-aged black people. Like 35.
And you did 7 minutes.
And I did 7 minutes.
And you got to laugh.
I got to laugh. It was I was a joke about I don't remember the whole setup punchline, but the premise was pretty much Nelly ruined my life. I couldn't focus in school because I was too tired from staying up to watch the tip drill video. That was like the premise of the joke, and it got some type of laugh, and it was just awful. But after that, I wasn't nervous anymore, and I just started coming up with funnier shit, you know.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, because like it's like a drug, like the first time you get on stage and you experience that, like, okay, it's this attention, and then you get a response. Really, it's kind of like any type of response that you get, you're like, wow, like this is what I just created.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then so it really just after that.
And that's why it hurts so bad when y'all don't laugh at our stuff, because it's personal. Like you don't know what we go through. It's like, yeah. Pitbull in the duffel bag. Yeah, they gonna love that. And then when we say this shit on stage and y'all don't laugh, you're like, for real?
Yeah.
For real? Y'all don't feel that? So the ride home is rough.
That's true. No, but I think what's worse is when you have jokes that work, that you've done before and that have killed, and then you do it like in a totally different room. You say the same joke with the same enthusiasm, and nothing.
That's why I don't try to be enthused when I'm on stage. I try to have like a I don't give a shit look on my face, because that's why I stay away from act outs. For me, it's the most embarrassing thing to just be acting something out on stage and nobody's feeling you at all, and it's just like and scene. It's just the worst. It's just the worst experience. So I don't know.
But I'm like, because I feel though that even if you're bombing, you just keep bombing. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you are telling a joke, right?
Yeah.
And then if like 80% of the joke is already done and they haven't gotten any laughs, you could quit right there at that 80, or you could tell that additional 20%.
Yeah.
And that 20% may be that, that little zinger that really gets the crowd,
Yeah, or it could just be that last little 20% where you're just driving home. You're like, I shouldn't have did the 20%.
That's true.
I should have just yelled. I should have. Now I want to crash my car into the. Now I want to just
Now, when you write jokes, how do you write? Because I know that there's some comedians who like take a day or take like an hour a day and sit down and write jokes, or it's just kind of like as they come. Like, what's your process?
No, my jokes are just I'll come up with a premise, and then I'll put just a title for it, whatever. I'll put it on my screensaver.
A screensaver
on my phone, because you think about it, you look at your phone like 300 times a day.
Yeah.
So, and over a week or something, I'll have a bunch of jokes like just on my screensaver, and then as I'm looking at it, sometimes I'll just riding around the car, music playing, and it gives you time to think about, and then as it comes to me, I'm just like, oh shit, okay, so I go into my notes and just write next to it, and then when I get home, write it down in my book, and then when I hit open mic, just have it bullet point. I don't really have it scripted out. It's just like I just know where I want to get to.
Yeah.
When I talk about this subject.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I write my jokes.
Okay. And then now, how often do you do a joke at an open mic before you feel it's like really polished to take it to a show?
One time.
Just one time.
One time when I do a joke, I can do a joke in front of comics, all comics, and I'll know how, because I know my voice, my comic voice.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll know like, oh, this is a shitty joke, or oh, if I cut this part out, it'll be funny, or if I time it like that, or if I whatever it, then I'll after one time I'll know if it's ready or if it needs to go in the trash or if it just needs to sit in the book for a while.
Yeah.
It only takes one time for me.
Okay.
That's just the way just based on the way I write my jokes. Not that I'm like super joke writer or nothing.
And then how often do you write new stuff? Because I think like one of the most annoying things, this is me personally, but I think one of the most annoying things is that, you go and you see a comic, you've seen, a comic a couple times, and they have like their 15-minute set, and that's it. Like that's their hot 15, they take everywhere with them, and they always do it.
I write new jokes every week. My goal is to write at least 2 new jokes every week.
Okay.
And that can be kind of tough, but that's what I feel like. If I don't have a joke in an entire week, then I feel like I'm wasting time, and it feels bad. Like it feels even worse when I ask my mom, like, "Hey, can you send me some gas money?" And I'm like, she ain't come up with no new jokes, nothing. What are you doing? Like I feel like I'm wasting time. I've been living out here for 3 months, and I'm just trying to get it, man.
Yeah.
No days off. No days off.
And that's the thing, because like, if you really work at it, and if you're actively working at it and you focus on the activity, then, it would definitely come.
Yeah. Especially, I'll tell you what motivates me is like, I always do an open mic. You, of course, do open mics, and most of them out here are just open mics full of comics, like at the Comedy Store or whatever. So they're not going to laugh anyway. So I kind of use that as motivation. It's like, okay, you're not gonna laugh. Well, let me write something better.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll laugh at it. You know, like I just it's kind of like self-motivating myself.
Yeah.
You know, to get it. So.
Because if you can get comics to laugh at an open mic that aren't paying attention to you at all, then you know that this joke is definitely funny.
For most, well, you know how it is at open mics. If they laugh at you, that means they don't think you're funny. But if they smirking at you, then you're like, okay, you might have got it. If they're like, huh, yeah, that's funny.
Well, you know, I think that there's different things because like if you have like a real clever joke, you know that comics will get and they'll appreciate, then they'll laugh at that.
Well, I have offensive. Some jokes that I have, I'll switch them around when I do an open mic and make it really, really offensive, and then that way I feel like I did that joke justice because I know comics will laugh at it, but I won't tell it on stage because I will turn the crowd on me. I actually wrote one like that last week, and I know if I tell it on stage, I will turn the crowd on me. Yeah. But if I tell in front of comics, they love it and they'll appreciate it. And I'll let them know like that was for y'all. That was for y'all.
All 7 of you comics here at this open mic. That was for you guys. Thank you for coming out. What was your worst show experience? Tomatoes thrown at you. Like what happened where you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do comedy ever again?
Worst show experience.
Yeah. Did you fall off the stage?
I've never not wanted to do comedy after a show. I'm trying to think, what's a bad show I've had?
Did you pee yourself?
I mean, I've bombed before.
I'll tell you two.
Okay. Two quick ones. One time I went when I was living in Atlanta, I went to an open mic that was my homeboy Griff. He threw it. Like he runs it. It was in South Carolina, and I went with Rodney Perry. Rodney Perry was rode with us. It was us and then my homeboy. But when we got there, we didn't know it was Apollo style until he's like so he brought us up on stage and he's like, yeah. So I brought 2 comics out here. They don't know it's Apollo style, but and like I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to work out. Yeah. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going just do it. Yeah. And I didn't get booed off stage. I got keyed off stage. It was like instead of booing, they shake their keys.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was like what he told them to do. I guess so we can save face.
As opposed to say boo.
Yeah.
Take your keys out and be like, get in the car.
So like, and it was in South Carolina. So it was a bunch of like old GM keys. Like, you know, niggas, it was like a bunch of box Chevy keys just shaking them.
Real loud.
Yeah,
so,
you know, it wasn't like a Mercedes where it was no key. Yeah. You know, no key. It was keyless entry. It was like some GM keys that had a key for a trunk, key for the engine, key for the door. Like, so it was loud. So that was bad. And then one time I did a Clayton State in Georgia. And I was sick. I wasn't even supposed to go up. But my boy's like, hey, he's like, get on stage. And I had food poisoning. So literally right before they're calling me on stage, I ran outside to go throw up. And then my set started off real bad because I'm like still feeling sick. Yeah. But I ended with some laughs. But what pissed me off was that I was like, I should have just fucking threw up on stage. Yeah. I would be famous already. Yeah. Like that should have been on World Star. and exactly. I would already be famous. So
yeah, that would have but then you would have been known as the throw up comic. Like you've seen him on World Star throwing up. Here he is. Yeah.
They've been on media takeout and shit.
Yeah, you would have been everywhere. Yeah. You know, doing movies, throwing up, having a great time.
But sometimes you just gotta learn to say no to some things, you know. I don't wanna be the throw up comic. So
Yeah. But now, okay, because I know everyone has their own, like, you know, perception of bombing. You know, because some people feel like if they don't do as well as they want to do, then that's a bomb. You know, or if they get booed, that's a bomb. They get a heckler, that's a bomb. Or if they just get no laughs, that's a bomb. So what is your definition of bombing?
Well, me, like, and I think as most comics, you got to have that, like, high confidence type thing. So for me, bombing is, like, not remembering my jokes.
Okay,
that's bombing. Because I'm like, if I remember my jokes and you laugh, then there's something wrong with you. Okay, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, because I'm funny. Like that's the way I look at it. So if I'm like stuttering over my jokes, then I'm like, oh shit, that was bad. But if you just don't laugh, I'm like, it's something wrong with you. Maybe you need to get your ears checked, or the sound isn't right in here. Yeah. But then, you know, when you bomb, it's like you you start coming up with like the excuses on the way. You're like, yeah, the sound wasn't right. The speakers it was too loud on stage. I couldn't hear. It was the feedback on the microphone. Yeah. So I don't know.
Everyone was texting.
Yeah, they was texting.
They was on Facebook. They didn't come to laugh. They came to the comedy show. They didn't come to laugh.
Yeah. Then the guy was heckling me. I was trying to ignore him, but he was just louder and louder.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you always blame everybody else. For you doing terrible.
Yeah.
Blame everybody else. The sound guy didn't have my right music. I wanted Jeezy. He put on 2 Chainz. I said, wait a minute, this isn't what was supposed to happen. It's terrible. That's terrible. Now, okay, who do you look up to as a comedian? Like, who are you studying? Who are you like, okay, this is who I want to kind of be as a comedian?
Studying wise, I don't study any comics because I've eventually pick up their mannerisms. But who's like who do I want to be known as? Like as far as like legendary wise, like Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., like a comic. That's what I want to be known as. My favorite comics out now to watch, like out at the comedy clubs. I like watching Byron Bowers. I like watching Fahim Anwar. Of course, Bill Burr, whenever I catch him out, whenever he's out at the Comedy Store every now and then. And Neil Brennan.
Yeah, Neil's funny.
He's fucking hilarious, man. He's hilarious. Every time I see his name on the thing, I always make it and Gerard Carmichael, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, because, like, I feel that a lot of people, just really go with the default Richard Pryor. And Richard is a great comedian.
Yeah.
He's definitely legendary. But what I've noticed, and I've talked to my friends about this, but really what I've noticed that people who say that they, Richard Pryor, but I'm okay, like, are you even really studying Richard Pryor?
Yeah. It's just like people who, when you ask them what's your favorite movie, and they're like, yeah, it's Scarface.
Yeah.
It's Scarface. Everyone else said, like, for me, I didn't really start watching comedy until like the first real comedy thing I watched was Kings of Comedy.
Okay.
And then after it was a while I waited, and then I got like Dave Chappelle's Killing Him Softly on DVD. So like for me, I got to see that it's kind of like being desensitized. Like a lot of people like pay homage to the greats, and they are the greats. Richard Pryor, George Carlin, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They're like, because they're the first ones to do it. But I'm like, yeah, but I heard these people do it first before I even heard of Richard Pryor. So Richard Pryor stuff sounds tame compared to what I started off listening to. So I don't know. I like Richard Pryor. Shout out to Mason, but but he's not one of my favorites.
Okay.
But he's a great comic.
Interesting. See? And now you guys can tweet him at Jerron Horton and say, hey, Jerron, you're crazy.
Yeah. Jerron Horton.
Now, how often do you get up? Because like I know like there's some comedians who go up every single day. So like how because this is your job. Like comedy right now is your main focus. So how often do you get on stage? Do you do multiple mics per night? Like what's your kind of comedy schedule like?
It's hectic. First thing I do in the morning when I wake up is I turn on First Take, and then I go back to sleep, and then I go hang out with my friend and play 2K, and then that's when we plot out which open mics we're gonna hit.
You're really a comedian.
Yeah,
like you are really living the comedian lifestyle.
Life. Yeah, my friends are like, man, I see you out there doing big things in LA, and I'm like, hold on, like Stephen Curry is like off right now. Like I need to focus. Stop texting me, okay?
People are getting up and going to work and worrying about like everyday problems, and you're over here worrying about how Stephen Curry is not acting right on the video.
Yeah,
game.
Stephen Curry he was off for me yesterday, and it pissed me off. Stephen Curry, if you're listening to this, you need to talk to 2K. Harrison Barnes, they messed up your. You used to be able to shoot threes before the season ended. As soon as they updated the rosters, you cannot shoot threes. I don't know what it is.
It's terrible. See, tons of people are mad right now because they're like, this guy, this grown man is up playing video games, and I'm taking my ass. I'm sitting in traffic, going to work, pulling my hair out. He better be funny when I come to the show.
No, my day doesn't really start until like 6 or 7. Okay. That's when I'm hitting. Like yesterday, I tried to get up on someone's show, but it ended up being too full, so I couldn't get on. So I didn't get on stage yesterday. But prior to that, I got on stage two times, and then the day before that I got on 2 times. So I try to hit up mics or hop on people's shows when I don't have anything that's booked, just to stay fresh. I'm trying to especially now since I'm going to I'm doing Chocolate Sundays for the first time on Sunday, so I'm trying to be fresh for that, doing the first impressions thing. So that, and then I'm filming for Off the Chain next week.
Okay.
So I got to be good for that. It's gonna be my first TV show. So
see, look at you. Yeah, see,
I got to be nervous.
Your career is going out of control now.
I don't know about that. It's better than it was though.
That's good. I mean, as long as you're going and you're advancing. Let's talk about these internet comics versus like traditional stand-up.
Oh shit.
Right? Because as well as I know, you're on Twitter, you're on the Facebook and this and that. And so, you see these guys who are online, who are thumb thugs, telling jokes.
Thumb thugs.
But they are behind the screen and they think that they're comedians. So what is your take on internet comedians
you mean
versus
like Facebook and Twitter comedians? You're not talking about like YouTube guys.
No, that's a totally different category.
Okay.
But like Facebook and Twitter comedians versus traditional stand-up.
I have a really big beef with Facebook comics, versus like real like. I hate when I go out of my way to put something funny on my goddamn Facebook, and then you want to try to one-up me on my own status.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate when they try to take something that you have and try to like up under and one-up you and get likes on it. I usually just delete it. or what I'll do is if it's funny, I'll take it and I'll delete it and then I'll post it on my own shit. And I'm like, yeah. Thank you.
So you're basically Carlos Mencia the opposed.
I'm the Carlos Mencia of Facebook and Twitter when it comes to shitty comics who aren't real comics. Like if they're just people like my friends trying to be funny. Kind of like Instagram. That's what bugs me about Instagram is like people will get upset with you if you don't give them their credit for a meme that they stole from somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
That's not yours.
It's not yours.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing is too is like because I don't like to put a whole bunch of funny stuff online.
Yeah.
Because like there's jokes that I have like, oh my god, like this would kill. It's get a whole bunch of retweets, it'll get a whole bunch. But then it's like because once it's out there, it's not yours anymore. You know what I mean? And then like it's stolen, and then someone else is taking all the credit for it.
That's why I don't put like really like jokes that I plan on using. Yeah. I don't put it online. Only thing I put online are like current events type jokes, like Detroit. I put a few up from Detroit yesterday, like because I don't really like to write a lot of current event jokes for my set because it's like eventually it'll die out. Yeah, and then you and that might be a big chunk of material that's missing, and you have to replace when you have to
It keeps you working though.
It does, but I try to save it for online, like Twitter, because it helps get me more followers, or Facebook it gets more likes or whatever, or I really live for the LMFAOs.
But I don't think people are really laughing. Like to me, because like when I read something, I'm not really laughing. Like if I think it's funny, I'm like, okay, like that's funny, but I'm not like really laughing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I feel that when people read something funny, that they're not like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Like okay, like they can just appreciate it.
They're okay. This is how I base it off of. LOL pretty much means yeah. Like if I text somebody something funny, they're like LOL pretty much like yeah. Okay, I see where you were going with it, but I'm not laughing. LMAO is like, I chuckled. And then if you get the more like O's and A's and F's, and then I'd be like, okay, they generally think that's funny. But if I get the like crying faces, like back to back to back, then I believe. So if any of my friends are watching, just
just put crying faces,
put the crying faces
on
everything that I post. And I will love you.
Make you feel super funny.
It'll make me feel really funny.
Now, what's up with this? You changing your last name to Smith randomly? Like, just people ask what's your name? Oh, I'm Jerron Smith. What's the story behind that?
By the way, I don't really do that. That was just shots
You've
fired.
Done it. You've done it. You've never done it?
No, did you read my entire bio?
I did.
Read the bio and I'll tell you. This.
I'm gonna read it out loud right now.
I'll set it up though. Nick asked me to send him a bio.
A great bio.
And this is what I woke up. I woke up to this text message. It was like, send me a bio or something like that. It was really early in the morning.
Okay.
He's about to read the bio.
Jerron Horton is a stand-up comedian from Atlanta, Georgia. He is 3 years deep into comedy and extremely frustrated when it comes to the current state of his career. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. But, you have a great career because you just get up and play NBA 2K all day. And then, you go to open mics and, and now you're doing TV. So apparently you're doing something right.
I'm still frustrated, though.
Which is causing him slight hair loss in the left corner of his hairline. Yeah, you are a little
chill, bro.
It's very Flow Rida-ish, but it's okay.
It's all right.
Sometimes Jerron changes his last name to Smith and tells people that he's Will Smith's son so he can get more stage time and impress more women. Jerron also tries way too hard to be funny, mostly by making up ridiculous bios about himself.
Yeah, so I don't really do that, obviously. I just needed something to give you. I thought I didn't know you were gonna ask me questions based on it. I thought that.
You
were probably really pissed off when you got that. You're like, what the fuck, man? What am I?
Then I'm like, okay, well, let me have him construct a really good Will Smith story. Like he was like, I was in Miami one day.
No. The reason why I could never tell people I'm Will Smith's son is because I only have one good outfit. So it's like, I would only be able to tell people that when I'm wearing that outfit. So I have a 1 in 7 chance of telling that outfit a week. It's like, it really wouldn't work for me.
I just have one good outfit. Wow, that's funny.
No one would believe if I tell you I'm Will Smith's son. You're like, well, why is I've never seen a faded yellow
You've
shirt.
Seen the way Jaden dresses, so you can be like, come on.
I know. I don't. He dresses trendy weird. I dress poor.
What is your comedic goal? Like where do you want to go? Where do you want to take this comedy thing?
I want to like make enough money to become a part owner of the Atlanta Falcons, and I want to be able to rebuild my hairline.
Okay.
And that's a pretty expensive surgery.
Yeah.
That's the motivation.
You look in the mirror every day. It's like, this is it right here.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. And what advice can you give to brand new comedians who want to take the leap of getting on stage the first time and, get bumped the first time like you until you're like, okay, let me just go ahead and do it. What is your advice?
My advice to them would be just don't do comedy because I don't win any more competition.
That's terrible.
It's already competitive enough. Just it stops here. No more new comics.
No, here's because it's competitive, but to be honest with you, I feel that there's not a lot of funny. Like there's a lot of comics, but then when it gets down to like actually funny comedians, it's like okay, actually funny comedians, and then it's like okay, like hilarious guys, and because like there's funny comedians, there's hilarious people, and there's people who are really working on their craft that are.
Where am I? You've seen some of my jokes. Where am I in that? Where do I fall?
I mean, you're funny. I have to see you again to really see, okay, like, is he hilarious? You know what I mean? Like, is he, like, but it seems like your work ethic is that you are working on to becoming one of those hilarious, one of the,
and the greatest
cream of the crop
2K player ever.
Yeah, with your janky Steph Curry. Okay, so any projects coming up? Because we know you have Chocolate Sundays this Sunday on the July 21st.
Yeah, I think that's the date. Doing the first impressions on that, and I'm doing filming Off the Chain next week in Atlanta. Get to go home, see my family, friends. And August 10th, I'm going to be doing the Brea Improv with my boy Eric Myers. That's pretty recent. Going on the road in September.
Okay.
Jacksonville, Florida, one weekend. Mobile, Alabama, the next weekend. Atlanta, Georgia, the third weekend. Yeah. Okay,
and you have dates on your website?
No, I don't have dates on my website. My website sucks. Just go on my website right now. It's under construction, but just go at www.jerronhorton.com, JERRONHORTON. Go to my Twitter, follow me. My YouTube, I have some stuff on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Jerron Horton.
So everything is Jerron Horton.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Comedy. My YouTube, Jerron Horton, just search it, pop up.
Perfect. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming in and making us laugh and giving us a little, peek into your life. So again, make sure you guys follow this guy, Jerron Horton. He's doing big things. I expect a lot of big things from him. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, this is Nick Purdue. See you guys next time.
from producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svito, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.